Gen G with a lot of tools. Fan chance a moment.
No?
No.
This is a very heavily T1
Yeah, I think
crowd, I think. But we did hear the
That
T1
never
fighting.
happens.
That's never happened.
Nah.
Underdogs, I think it's safe to say.
When it comes to the crowd, every time.
Yeah. He is aura farming. He dodged a Q. The crowd went wild. Of course, Keria. It's just a constant barrage of stats and record breaking when either of these teams play on stage.
Faker passing 1,000 kills at international events, though, that's just, like, no one's ever gonna...
Against Chovy. Yeah, that's
You know how when you see like a natural phenomenon, it's too big to really comprehend what you're witnessing?
Yeah.
Like that's too big a number.
It's insane.
My man's got the spreadsheet out, farming up. You know, he's done all the math.
He made sure he hit it in
Stardew
that
Valley
game.
levels of aura farming right here.
Owner has, yep, I'm
Owner
with you.
does have aura.
And this is, as we expect, the early pressure here towards his bot lane. Guma and Keria are going to be fighting as much as they can. The only other thing I want to note is that Faker did go for Grasp, which we see a lot on Victor into melee matchups, ensuring that he will be able to farm up as much as possible, and basically for free, of the Galio, who, without having help in the lane, shouldn't really be able to do too much against him.
At this point, Bard level 1, obviously notoriously oppressive, has access to the Cosmic Binding and the passive. Feels effectively like 2 skills early on. Doro, headbutt very common, right? There's not a lot you can do. You punt him away. You try to make the trades as favorable as possible. Ruler does have a bit of sustain, as does Doro, so can maybe weather the storm here. Carry a packing heal as the initial spell on that Summoner spellbook.
And yeah, they should be able to easily take control over the lane. Basically, for Ruler, he is going to be at least trying to get XP, trying to get soul farming started as quickly as possible, but this lane is a very, very rough time for the Senna Alistar.
Yeah, he's sitting at 3 minions. And the stacks obviously not going well. Should be able to pick up at least a little, but also did feel like he just missed a lot. Not necessarily because of them crashing into the turret, but just early on. So not the best start there for the Senna. As we also, both junglers were spotted on their Raptors. So Gen G bot lane, or the Gen G bot lane knows that Owner is on their way and they won't have help. And T1 also knows that. I don't know if they spotted each other's wards. I think that at least the Gen G one, or the one on Gen G's Raptors was spotted. And Keen, getting Sion low is nice, but let's be real, you're not going to be able to actually threaten him unless Kenyon makes his way over. But even then, Sion notoriously hard to dive early.
Definitely can be. Chovy, the losing end of the early trades here. Victor, really solid against these melee options. Galio brings a lot to the team composition, but the early lane can be really tricky. Just the Q trading on the Siphon power, giving you that additional shielding, that additional movement speed start as you get the upgrade. I mean, it's just miserable to play against.
And this is, again, everything a T1 composition wants, right? As we see this bot lane not letting up on their pressure onto Ruler and Duro, but this should give them the easiest first Drake access of any game they've played thus far in the series. And they've already done a great job of locking in that first Drake and making Drakes a huge contest point that Gen G has to fight them on.
And I think this is tough now for Canyon. Spotted as well, right? We want to see a lot of impact from the Pantheon. The ganks don't have to come pre-6, but it's nice if they do. However, with full pressure mid lane, full pressure bot lane as well, he's losing chunks of his jungle. He's going to be at risk if he moves into bot lane or bot side of the river blind without knowing where Owner is.
Laning phases outside of Keen. Not looking too hot for now is Guma.
Good. Guma locked up, forced to cleanse. Nice little trade there coming in from Gen G. Keria, level 4, getting that extra Chime XP and really making the difference.
Big combo found there by Duro. Able to get the cleanse out. That's a big summoner, both with the Galio and with the Pantheon available. Makes it a lot easier later on to get a possible play onto Guma, as I think we do see the pings going down right now onto Krugs. So they do know that Xin Zhao is in that area, and Keen should be fine here, but still, Doran finding the counter pressure. Kind of both lanes going one way early, and then in the extended play, going the other. Never take that, but it's carry out a reward.
It's far enough away.
It's just support.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Ooh, Faker with a nice wave position here. Chovy trying to get this one and might need a bit of support to come over from Canyon. The one thing that I will say is bot lane, yes, Ruler and Duro are weaker early, but they have a really good setup if Canyon can pay attention to the bottom side of the map.
And you already see they have set up to at least track, right? They do have wards in addition to the T1 wards that were already placed to try to track to see if Owner does decide to go for this early Drake now that it has spawned. I think you're just going to shove that wave all the way in and back.
Not something we talk about often, but Faker Obviously, I think this early matchup, pre-6, is always going to feel